Hi, I'm Janae DeVica from Cafe Janae. I'm here at the beautiful lodge at Morel Ranch in Gallatin, Missouri. Welcome to the kitchen. Many people think that when they start a healthy diet that it's going to be too expensive and too time consuming to make the switch. Well, with grain bowls, you can have an economical and quick way of filling yourself up with satisfying, healthy, nutrient-dense food without too much time, effort, or expense. I'm going to show you today how to make a miso gravy quinoa bowl that's just fabulous. It tastes amazing, you'll feel satisfied and full, and it's full of vegetables and protein-rich quinoa. First of all, I want to show you how to prepare vegetables properly so that you can maintain the maximum amount of nutrition in your vegetables. First thing, you don't want to turn your stove up too high, so keep your stove on low or medium temperature so that you can preserve the nutrients in the food. Many antioxidants such as vitamin C, A, and E are temperature sensitive, so if you cook them at too high of a temperature, it will destroy those vitamins. So first of all, what we want to do is decide which vegetables are going to cook the quickest and which vegetables will cook the slowest. Put the slowest cooking vegetables in first, and that way the quick cooking vegetables won't get soggy while the slow cooking vegetables are still too hard. So today we've got some carrots, kale, some tempeh, which is a fermented soybean, green beans, cauliflower, and red peppers. So things that will take the longest to cook are the carrots, the green beans, and the kale. So what we're going to do is use a little bit of coconut oil just to make sure that our vegetables don't stick. You only need a teaspoon or two of coconut oil in the bottom of your pan, and that will ensure that your vegetables don't burn or stick. After that's melted, we'll just put in the carrots and let them gently saute for just a couple minutes. When the carrots have sauteed for a few minutes, we'll put in the tempeh, and that'll give it time to get a little bit brown on the edges and share its flavors with the carrots. So we'll just let that tempeh and the carrots cook for a little while. Now, many people haven't tried tempeh before, and I want to tell you a little bit about soybeans while this is cooking. Soybeans are very hard for the human stomach to digest. They have an indigestible protein and enzyme inhibitors in the soybeans. So soy milk and other soy products are not a good thing to eat if you're working on improving your health. The other problem with soy products is they have phytoestrogens in them. And an estrogen is a hormone, and phyto means from a plant. So you're getting the estrogen hormone from the soybean plant. This can cause all sorts of problems, especially since cancers and other disorders and diseases are fed by estrogen. It can also cause premature development in young children. So you want to be really careful about staying away from soy products unless they're fermented. Fermented soy products are things such as miso, tempeh, and tamari. These products have had a bacteria culture added to them, and they've fermented for a little while, and that helps to break down all the indigestible proteins, the phytic acid, the enzyme inhibitors, and it makes them so that they are more nutritious and easily digestible for our bodies. So tempeh is just basically soybeans that has a bacteria culture added to it, and it's left to ferment for a while, and then it's a great protein that you can add to your vegetarian dishes. It tastes great, and it's got sort of a meaty texture that you can replace your meat with. Let's just let this saute for a couple more minutes. All right, we've let the carrots and the tempeh saute for just a few minutes, and now it's time to add the green beans, the cauliflower, and the kale. Green beans are a great green vegetable that are high in nutrients and very low in calories. And when they're in season, they're a perfect thing to add to a grain bowl. I like to add things that are in season. You can make this grain bowl with any vegetables that are in season. You don't have to use the vegetables I'm using here. You can just use whatever is available at the farmer's market or at the grocery store. If you can use organic vegetables, that's also going to be beneficial. Kale is one of the most nutrient-dense foods that you can get. Nutrient density means it's got a lot of nutrition compared with how many calories it has. So kale is very low in calories, very high in nutrition. So it's the perfect combination for a high-density food. We're just going to put all that in there, put the lid on, and the steam that comes from the water in the vegetables will gently steam these vegetables, and they'll be ready in just a couple minutes. After those vegetables have steamed for just a little while, you'll be able to tell because the kale starts turning a bright green. You can throw in the cauliflower. Even though cauliflower is a harder vegetable, it steams very quickly. So we'll put the cauliflower on top and leave this to steam for about 5 minutes. We'll see in just a bit. All right, while our vegetables are steaming, we're going to make the miso gravy. Now, normally miso gravy is cooked, so all the enzymes and the heat-sensitive vitamins are cooked out of it. We're going to make a raw miso gravy that's full of probiotics, enzymes, and lots of vitamins. We'll start off with some miso paste. Many people are not familiar with miso paste. Basically, what miso paste is ground up soybeans that have a bacteria culture added to them, and then they're cultured over a period of months or years to make miso paste. So this is a probiotic-rich food that is really great for your digestion, and it adds a bit of saltiness to whatever food you're making. So we're not going to even put salt in this. The miso will be salty enough for our recipe. I'm also going to put in some powdered bouillon. It's just vegetable bouillon. It's very difficult to find a vegetable bouillon that doesn't have MSG or other chemicals or high fructose corn syrup or sugar in it. So you need to read the label very carefully. Make sure that it doesn't have sugar, high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oil, or other ingredients you're trying to avoid in there. Then we'll put in some olive oil. This will give us some of our healthy fats. Remember, you don't want to cook olive oil. And the reason this works in this recipe is we're not going to cook this. Some apple cider vinegar. This is raw. This also has probiotics in it and is going to help with our digestion. And then we've got some tahini paste. Tahini is a paste made out of ground up sesame seeds. And sesame seeds are very high in calcium. Many people wonder, if they have a vegan or vegetarian diet and they're not drinking milk, where are they going to get their calcium from? Sesame seeds are an excellent source of calcium, and it's easy to put them in sauces because it gives it a nice creamy texture and flavor, and it also thickens up sauces. So if your salad dressing or your sauce you're making is too runny, add a little bit of tahini and it will thicken it right up. We're going to add some chili paste to give it a little bit of heat. Some raw local honey to make it a little bit sweet. Some ginger for a little added spice. And ginger helps your digestion. It helps your hydrochloric acid cells produce hydrochloric acid. It's also good for nausea. And it's a very nutritious and nutrient-dense food. We've got a couple cloves of garlic in there. Remember, anytime you can add cruciferous vegetables to your meal, you're helping to prevent cancer and other diseases and helping to fight free radicals. The kale that we're putting in our vegetable bowl is also a cruciferous vegetable. So you've got lots of really great nutrition in there. Some black pepper. Black pepper can actually heal the lining of your stomach as long as it's not cooked. Black pepper and cayenne pepper, they both have healing properties to improve digestion, heal stomach lining, prevent ulcers. But if you cook those peppers, they do exactly the opposite, and they actually cause damage to your stomach. So make sure when you're using peppers, you don't cook them. Make your food first and put the pepper on last, right before you eat it, instead of cooking it. And that's all. That's how easy our miso gravy is. Let's just blend this into a creamy gravy, and then we'll put our bowl together. All right, now we're going to go back to the stove. The vegetables are done steaming. We'll bring them back and put our quinoa bowl together. I want you to notice how the kale is bright green. And if you look down at the rest of the vegetables, they're also bright and vibrant as well. You know you've steamed a vegetable too long if it gets kind of dull in color. So you want to watch very carefully as you steam your vegetables and just steam them until they reach their peak of brightness in their color. And then you know you've steamed them just enough. And that will leave your vegetables a little bit soft but mostly crisp. It'll retain most of their nutrients. And it's more visually appealing as well when the vegetables are bright in color instead of dull and soggy. Now we're going to put this dish on a bed of quinoa. Quinoa, most people think it's a grain, but it's really a seed that's related to kale. And it's very high in protein. It's a complete protein, has all 9 amino acids that your body cannot make by itself. And it is delicious. It's got a nutty flavor, a nutty aroma, and it's very satisfying, kind of like brown rice, but with a nuttier flavor. It's very easy to make. All you do is add 1 cup of quinoa to 3 cups of water, put it on a medium heat, and bring it to a boil. Then turn it down to simmer and let it simmer for 20 to 25 minutes until all the water's been evaporated. Just leave the lid on after you turn off the heat until the steam has stopped, and it'll turn into a nice fluffy quinoa that's delicious and very healthy for you, very high in protein. After that, we're going to layer on our vegetables and our tempeh onto the quinoa. Look how beautiful and bright and vibrant that is. You know you're getting lots of antioxidants when the vegetables are very bright and very colorful. You want to use as much variation in the color and variety of vegetables as you can. And as I mentioned before, you can make this dish with any vegetables that you happen to have on hand or that are in season. So this makes it very economical and easy and quick to make. Now we're putting the peppers on last because red peppers are very high in vitamin C. They have more vitamin C than oranges and other citrus fruits. And vitamin C, however, is very heat sensitive. So if you cook the red peppers, all that great vitamin C is lost. So you don't want to cook the peppers. I just put them on the dish right before I serve it. And then you can maintain all the nutrient density that you can. Now all we have to do now is pour the miso gravy on this fabulous dish. You're going to have a dish that's high in probiotics, antioxidants, protein, fiber. This is economical, easy to make. It only took a matter of less than a half hour, and it's satisfying. You can eat this and feel full and satisfied. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make a quick and tasty miso gravy bowl, and we're glad you joined us. Thank you.